How's it going, guys? And welcome to RC Cincy. Today we have the Skyviper Dash. This is the nano drone. So Skyviper's got quite a few different products. I've had a couple of these, and I think my favorite one was the airplane. This performed very well. It was actually on sale there for a while at Target, so be on the lookout for that. I didn't have the hand gesture one. I'm not a big fan of those. Of course, we have the Dash here. I've had the Fury. I've seen the Journey, just never got it. It's supposed to have GPS and stuff, but today we're going to focus on the Dash. It's supposed to have one-touch stunts, dual flight modes, auto landing and taking off. Nice little package. I like the way it's displayed. These are normally, I think, 20 bucks. It was on sale for 16 something, so can't beat that for the price. So let's go ahead and get into the unboxing, and then we'll set this up and charge it, fly it, show you guys some tips and stuff, because there's a lot of questions asked about drones. So why not kind of get to fly this drone and share some key steps with you guys as well. Let's get this bad boy opened up. Slide this out. Wow, they do package this really, really nicely. I'll give them that. May step it back a little bit. There we go. Let's see here. How do we open this? Here we go. Tape. Look for the tape when in doubt. And then, of course, on the bottom side as well. There we go. Let's pull everything out to make it easier. They do package this really nicely. I will give them that. Charging wire. Looks like we do get some spare parts, which is nice. We can just undo this from the plastic, set it down right here, make sure there's nothing else in the box. That's trash, that's trash. And then we have to open the drone. There we go. Pop the lid off and cut this little plastic little clip. There we go. Boom, there we go. So now we're just down to the necessary bits here. So let's see here. Instruction manual should be pretty straightforward. Just charging it tells you what does what. Everything is labeled, so that is nice. How to properly swap out, you can use a fork, that's hilarious. How to swap out the blades, what control does what, all the functionality. Charging. Pretty basic stuff, which we'll kind of all go over it. So I also want to give you guys a few tips, because I've had a lot of questions about drones. These ones, in my opinion, the altitude hold ones are much easier to fly. I feel like the ones that are throttle management will give you a much better experience of flying drones. So we do get a set of props. Keep in mind, these are labeled props, so it'll be like A or B, and you have to put the right prop on the right motor, or it will not fly. I could tell you that for sure. What else? Small connector here, similar to like an Air Hogs connector. That'll just charge the drone. The battery is built into this drone, so it cannot be swapped out unless you do a modification, which can be done on something this size. I don't know. There are just so few small batteries like this that I don't even know if it's worth it, but yeah, you can see the little single cell there. Let's go over transmitter really quickly. Doesn't feel bad. Altitude hold, you can see it spring back to center. And then you have your power button, forward and back trim, left and right trim. You have your normal and your sport. I love the fact that everything is labeled. And of course, launch and land. And then your stunt button. So yeah, really nicely labeled. We are going to need a screwdriver and some batteries. 3 AAAs, I think. So let's go ahead and grab a screwdriver. Some of these radio-controlled drones will actually come with a screwdriver, so hang on to those small screwdrivers. Kind of useful. Let's go ahead and pop in 3 AAA batteries. These are not my favorite. I seem to go through so many batteries. It's unbelievable. But 3 of these. Looks like there's a captive screw on the actual battery door, which is nice, so you don't lose that screw. Line her up. Just tighten this up so the door won't come off. There you go. There we go. We got some batteries in it. And then as far as the drone itself goes, you can see green in the front. Looks like green is the front, black is the back. You can see the connector where you're charging it. There's an off and on. Right there, a little switch. Does kind of have these little feet on there to land on the surface. These little small ones are actually not that easy to fly. It's a lot easier that's altitude hold. But these things can be zippy, and it's kind of easy to lose orientation. So keep that in mind when you're flying this. This is definitely an indoor drone. Wind will have huge effects on this. Little motors in there. I'm not sure if it has any lights. We'll turn it on, see if it has any lights or not. But yeah, pretty straightforward. See if I could read any of these numbers on the blades. I have my vision is terrible, but they're, like I said, they're labeled. So just make sure you put the right way. You can also tell if you can't see the number is the way the blades are angled. You can see these two are totally different from each other. It usually goes catty corner, same directional. So you see these two are angled in the same direction. Or wait, hold on. No, see how they're different? See how one's angled that way, one's angled that way? Same thing. See how it's catty corner from each other like that? See that? That's what it needs to do to be able to fly. Is they have to be the right direction blade. So if you get the wrong orientation on these, it will not fly. So very important when you're replacing them, replace it with the same exact directional blade. Same blade. It should also tell you in the manual which goes where. So let's get rid of this. So what we are going to have to do is make sure you charge this drone. But before we do so, I want to show you guys what the lights look like, if it has any. And it does have lights. Nice. So it looks like it's got green and red lights. They're flashing now because they're searching for signal. Let me turn that off. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is plug this up, charge it. I'll let you know if the light comes on or off. I'll tell you guys the charging sequence. And then once we get this charged, we'll fly this around a little bit, give you my impression on it, and then maybe show you a few different things that kind of applies to all of them. So we'll be right back as soon as this charges. Okay, so we are back. We have the dash all charged up. The light on the charger is red while it's charging, and it turns green when it's done. I do have it in wide lens right now, so we could try to get a shot of it flying around. So remember, you always want to set your drone straight exactly from you. So it kind of helps orientation. I don't think this has headless mode or orientation mode, but if your drone does have it, it's very important that you start it exactly straight from you. That way it knows what is the starting point of orientation. That way if you enable it, whenever you push away, no matter if you're spinning or not, you push away, it'll push away from you, and you pull towards you, it'll come towards you. So that's basically how orientation mode works. Like I said, I'll be throwing a few tips in for other drones as well. So we'll see what kind of drone this is. I'll show you both ways. So there's a couple of different ways to start these up. So very first thing you want to do is always turn on the drone first. Lay it on a flat and level surface away from you straight. Then you want to turn on the transmitter. Now some of them will bind automatically. See how this one is no longer flashing? It's already bound. Some you'll have to go up, down, maybe once or twice. You'll hear them beep and they'll go solid light. This one being altitude hold, it looks like it just bound itself. So all we have to do is use the, you can see that it's lit up in normal mode, and then we can just use the auto takeoff function. I don't know if you can take off manually. We can try. Let's try that real quick, see if it works. Yeah, you can. So you can manually take off. Let me bring it down and over a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. It's really small, I know. Wow, it's very stable, very smooth little drone. Kind of surprised by that. So you just let it go. See how it's drifting? This is where you would trim it. If it's going to the left, you'll trim it obviously to the right, so forth and so on. There we go. See how now it's going to the right instead of left? Couple clicks. Let's just let it float. That's pretty stable right there. Now we can just fly around. So you have your yaw rate, which is your left stick. Yaw is just turns in place. And then you have what's called up and down, which is just throttle. This one being altitude hold, it holds your last position. Then you also have roll right, roll left, pitch backwards, and then pitch forward. So it has a lot of mobility. This is where you just take your time and learn orientation. Start out with it pointing in front of you and just kind of move it around, get the feel for it. And this is a peppy little drone. And then the yaw, of course, turns. See that? So now everything is the other way because the orientation has turned. And you just want to practice doing figure eights, just flying it around basically. Make sure you feel comfortable. And you just want to rip it around, do figure eights, different motions, not just back and forth going one way with the stick. See how that's not, anyone can do that. You just want to be able to go up, turn around, fly back at you this way, turn around again. That's a really smooth flyer. I'm very impressed actually. A lot of these are very unstable. So they did a great job with the flight controller on this. That's in mode 1. So let's go ahead and hit the stunt button while we still have some juice. Here we go. You ready? It does a flip. Can you select which way? Yep, I just did it to the left. Let's do it to the right. Let's see if it'll do a front flip. Yep. So it will allow you to select which way the aircraft flips. So let's do a back flip. Oh yeah. So it works perfectly. Sorry if it gets out of the shot. That works well. Let's go into sport. And then let's see the yaw rates. Oh yeah, it's increased quite a bit. Oh yeah. I just wrecked it. It is much, much zippier. Now, is there a calibrate button? Let's see, both in a 45-degree angle. Oh wow, it does. Both of them 45-degree angle inward. I guess is how you calibrate it. I did it on my flat table. I hit up. Let's try to hit the auto land button. Now you're still going to want to guide it to where it lands. So let me just hit it. You'll be over the table and hit it. And it does auto land. When it's coming down, you can actually still guide it to where you can hit the table. I missed the table, of course, but you can guide it as it's coming down. You can auto take off, auto land, and you can manually take off and land. So that's pretty cool. Let me just hit the auto takeoff. It gets up. It's going to go up a little bit higher than usual just because of the simple fact that I'm on the table. It's technically not taken off of the ground. But yeah, it works really, really well. I'm surprised. I'm going to put it back on normal. I think normal is perfect to learn to fly this aircraft. Look how smooth that is. It is one of the smoother little drones I've ever flown. Like, usually they're a little crazy, which is, you know, indicative of its size and everything. But this thing is just smooth. And it's been a while since I've flown too, so I'm not even that great at a drone anymore. It's been a while since I've flown a few of them. Not bad. A little bit of trim it could use, but not terrible. Let me see if I can land on the table manually. Flight time's impressive. We've been flying this whole time. Let me go ahead and land. Oh, I bounced off. Hold on. Let me go over a little bit. Hold on. You gotta dedicate. You gotta. Oh, I missed the tape. It's harder than it looks. See, it wants to sometimes bounce when you're trying to land. You're better off just hitting the land button and then just guiding it down. I think that would probably be easier. It's pretty durable. I wrecked it behind me. Didn't seem to bother it one bit. Still solid lights. These will flash when the battery gets low. And we've been flying for a little bit now. Surprisingly, like, that's pretty good flight time, you know, for what it is. We've did the flips. We've done all that fun stuff. It's just a good little drone. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm curious what size milliamp battery that is. I imagine it's at least 75 to 100, maybe a little more, maybe 150 tops. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting the lights. There will be slowly flashing. That's indicating the battery is getting low. You are going to want to land because you do not want to trash the battery. So let's see if we get to land on the table. Ah, we had it. It fell off. So we landed. They're going to flash like this. That tells you that the battery is getting low. You don't want to trash this little battery in there. Technically, you could, if you could find a replacement, I guess you could replace it. You know, this looks like maybe a 50 or 75. I don't know. Size milliamp battery. Single cell. Yeah. Not bad. I was actually pretty impressed. Let me move this tripod over here. I was actually pretty impressed with the drone itself. It kind of blew me away. It performed really well. It was smooth. I wrecked it a few times. It was fast. I almost couldn't control it. It's been a while since I've flown. I'd have to get used to it again. But in the fast setting, it was a ripper. Definitely indoors. Especially if you have a bigger room, you could probably run like a little track, like a little race or something with these. That would be cool. Definitely get them to go through little loops in like FAB style racing or whatever. Pretty impressive. Definitely for the price. For $16, what I paid for this is definitely worth that. Even 20 bucks, honestly, as good as it flew, is, yeah, I would pay $20 for this just because of the quality of flight. It's hard to explain. Sometimes you get these smaller drones that just really have a hard time flying. This one did not. This one performed very well. Pretty solid. So a few of the tips I was talking about is basically there's been a lot of guys asking me about connecting these. Always turn on the drone first. Most of the time you'll have to go up, down, and it'll make a beeping noise. Do that again if you have to. A lot of them require like a Wi-Fi app. It is important that you turn on the Wi-Fi setting in your phone and you connect it to you have to turn on the drone and connect to the Wi-Fi signal coming from the drone. That's the way the Wi-Fi works. I'll do a separate video on that. Make sure you always place the drone straight from you, kind of with orientation for the drone, especially if it has some kind of headless mode in it. You know, a lot of these drones have come a long way. I remember when little drones like this first came out. But yeah, they've really come a long way. The charger is nice. It's not just one of those red lights that just either go out when they're done or come back on. It actually switches to a green light. So really nice touch there. That's improved as well. The spare props, I think, is the minimum, and they included that as well. So they really did a really good job there. All you're going to need is just your 3 AAA batteries, and this drone could be a lot of fun. Everything is labeled on the transmitter. It felt good in the hand. Sport mode is really fast. You could definitely rip around, race these, no problem. Not bad. Not bad at all. Paid 16 bucks from Target. I definitely recommend it for that price. Anywhere near that, 20 bucks, absolutely awesome. And you never know what else could go on sale. I did feature a couple other drones from this manufacturer. Like I said, my favorite product was definitely the airplane. That thing was so much fun. You know, the Fury was good too. They have some good products. They've really stepped up their game. I could appreciate that. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.